get out of there with no scratches, no damage. And I actually wasn't expecting that to happen. It did happen, so I just took it for what it was, man. Just another victory after the book.
Hell yeah. And man, Hell on Wheels. I don't know what's more intense, your awesome personality or your fighting style, man. I'm like, woo, if I had to have a corner man or a hype man, I'd have you all the way.
Yeah, you ain't got to get hyped when you stay hyped, man. That's it's kind of my mantra in life. Now, Hell on Wheels is just a different character, man. It's fun, man. Getting to be Hell on Wheels. It's kind of like a special kid's dream, man. Like I said when I was out in Arizona, if you'd have told 10-year-old me that I'd grow up to be Hell on Wheels and like everywhere I went, people would know my name and it would be this thing, I would have told you were nuts, man. So it's just a whirlwind to me. And as far as my fighting style is, man, that's just trust in my training, man. I throw a lot of punches because I trust in my training, and I think I'm gonna make you get tired before me. You know what I mean? Because I trust in what I do. When I was out at StreetBeefs West Coast, they asked me if I'd fight this cat, and I was like, "You guys have got to be kidding me!" Not only would I be giving up about 60, 70 bills, but I did not have the reach advantage, right? So, luckily I was able to decline. You know what I mean? I wasn't ducking, but I was hoping somebody would push me out of there real fucking quick. So yeah, it's awesome. The wheelchair fighting, man. It's awesome. It's high paced and it's a lot of fun, man.
Hell on Wheels, I got a quick question, bro. I really would like to know. I noticed, man, every single fight you're throwing a bunch of punches, nonstop, relentless. It takes cardio, man, to do that. In your situation, what are we doing for cardio to keep up that type of punch count?
So, people knock the Planet Fitness, right? They knock it. But for $10 a month, they got a hand bike in there. And every gym I've ever been at, there's one of you fancy leg having motherfuckers that brags like, I run 2 miles a day, bro. I run 2 miles a day, right? Well, Hell on Wheels gets on that hand bike, and I won't show you the screenshots that I send to my coaching staff when I'm done. But if you're only running 2 miles, man, I'm not even sweating yet.
Dang. All right.
The worst feeling in the world is to be in a fight and know you got nothing left. That is absolutely the worst feeling in the world, man. So if you've ever had that feeling, you'll make sure you never have it again.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I feel like I love it because I always hear it in the back of my head sometimes. Some kids voice, cardio is key. Cardio is key. Cardio is key. So many people even say, the first fight, they didn't realize how much they need. Even me, I lifted a bunch of weights before my first fight. I was what kind of like, yeah. And after first round, I'm like, that was interesting. Duva, I know, man, you got some killer cardio too with your fighting style, and you're with a badass with 50-50 MMA too. What's some of the cardio that you like to do?
Well, what I do for cardio, man, I do run a lot. I enjoy running. It gives me brings a lot of tranquility to my life. I enjoy the meditation and the runner's high out of it. But I do a lot of box jumps, and I focus a lot on 1 minute power shots on the back, and just a lot of sparring. A lot of sparring. We got so many guys in 50-50, so many guys on operatives. We just have so many bodies to work with, so it's just running gauntlets like crazy. That's what keeps my cardio up there, man.
Absolutely. How long have you been with 50-50? I'm curious because like every fighter I've seen with 50-50 has never disappointed. So I'm just curious.
I believe it's been going on for like more than 2 years and a half now. That was funny.
And
When I
you started that, correct?
yes, I started it, and it was just me and my son. I started looking for people to train within the service community. And I know Bundy, if you guys remember Bundy, he became champion too, 50-50. He was the first one to hit me up. And then Nobody, and then Dirty Devil, and then Demian, and Donovan, the Don, and just all of them has just started coming in and coming in and coming in. They still do. Even guys that were training by themselves and they have made a name for themselves in the yard, now they're asking to train with us. I'm not gonna say any names, not to like compromise anybody, but we have a lot of people that are always willing to come and train with us. They see our results and where we at because we put in the hard work, man. Everybody does their homework. Everybody trains hard, and they all have their own goals and dreams, and they all follow them through.
Yeah, man. You guys, for those who don't know, StreetBeefs West Coast just had the 3-year anniversary. We're still uploading fights from that event. Duva's title fight is uploaded, and it was a hell of an event, hell of a day. But just to talk about 50-50, man, these guys came in and they swept. They came in as a team, they swept, and it was a beautiful thing, man. Beautiful thing to see. You guys are doing great work, man.
We try every single time. We work hard. We work really, really hard, and I think the main thing with us is the brotherhood that we keep pushing each other up. We always motivating each other. We're always pushing our limits, and we treat each other like brothers, man. I think that's what's in keeping our team very, very strong, very committed. Everybody keeps coming back, and more people keeps adding to the team, and we're willing to work with anybody, any level, man. Like doesn't matter your background, where you're coming from, if you got money or not, it don't matter where you live, what color you are. We welcome everybody, man. And we're just here for the community. We're here to improve each other and help each other out, and we're gonna continue to do it. And we're gonna keep on making more champions, man. That's our main goal.
Yeah, man. If I was in Cali, bro, I definitely would love to come train with y'all, man. But I'm a little ways away. But one day.
Well,
I saw a question earlier asking Hell on Wheels how we got involved with StreetBeefs. Because let's see. Oh, I thought you pulled it up. Oh, dang.
So I guess that goes back to the original neutral corner boxing. My cousin is married to Daniel Shaw, who is the partner of Corey at the original neutral corner boxing. So that's kind of how I originally heard the StreetBeefs, started going to events. And then we had that first ever fight against Mr. Mudd there, that legendary one there. And then that kind of just snowballed it all into what we have now and being the Hell on Wheels challenge and stuff. But at the start of that journey, I was 252, I think, somewhere in there. So like I was a big boy my first couple of days there at the original neutral corner boxing. So it's been a long journey.
Yeah, I've seen some of the photos where you and Challenge Accepted, where you were sitting there at some of those fights. And I'm like, yeah, getting in there, StreetBeef, all sanctioned.
Yeah, that's my guy, man. I couldn't ask for a better pair of legs, man. Challenge Accepted. He doesn't miss a lot of fights. He's been a great trainer for me. He's probably the best corner guy I can ask for.
Yeah.
Big shout out to that guy. For those of you for those of us that go to fights, because I've went there without nobody, it's a whole different feeling when you got somebody with you that you're going to get home. You know what I'm saying? They got your best interest at you. So for all those people that go with the fighters to the StreetBeefs events, I understand. I see you and I appreciate you if nobody tells you that.
Absolutely.
Yeah, Challenge Accepted. My bad, go ahead.
Did you see that question? Ryan asked if we'd ever do wheelchair boxing. Yeah.
I would. Just not with Hell on Wheels, but I would do it. I ain't stupid. Man.
Let me go at entry level first, and then
work my way up. Look, weight class.
I'm not that good, fellas. You know what I mean? I'm
not
Joe Swanson or nothing.
Stop.
Trust me, bro. I'm not that good. I'm just an old man. Real talk.
I was gonna say, man, you're phenomenal at what you do, but also Challenge Accepted, man. He's one of the most underrated guys in StreetBeefs who doesn't get talked about enough as far as talent. Always willing to step up to the challenge. And to your point, a great corner man. And I wanted to spin this back to Duva because speaking of cornermen, 50-50, in my opinion, has two of the best cornermen / hype men, and that's you're a great corner man. I've heard you say some key things, but man, sadly, and BDW, man, I mean, they really bring it, bro. Is this something that's just naturally happening, or do you guys like come in with the mind frame of like, hey, we're gonna go hard as a unit? Like, What is this?
No, it definitely happens naturally. Then them two
Yeah.
guys are just crazy. Just like the same energy that they bring to their fights, they bring it when they corner, man. They just get us loud, and they want their teammates to win those fights, so they gotta get on our faces, you know. So they scream their lungs out, their hearts out, and they just trying to help us the best way they can, and no, but that's all them. That's all natural. Like we don't plan it. Like we don't even actually like I'm supposed to corner all my fighters, but other than that, we don't really said or say who's gonna corner who,
Mm.
and they just jump on it. Like they just know that we're all there to support each other, and that's what they do. Every time one of my guys fight, I get hyped up. Whenever I fight, my guys get hyped up. You know what I mean? It's just that the love that we have for each other, man. We just want to see each other succeed, and that's all it is. It's all natural love, man.
Dang, hell yeah. And what was your first Street Beefs West Coast event? Were you there for the first one, or what? Do you remember? Because I was curious.
Mine was Distributed 6 versus Creature.
Oh, that was your first one. I remember because I don't know. No, yeah, because you were 1-0 when I watched you, the Military Mind or something. That one was. I like those uppercuts. You kept throwing those suckers. I'm like,
That's one of my favorite fights right there. Me versus Military Mind. I wish it would have gone longer, but I understand that like cuts and stuff like that is very serious. And I just wish we would have continued to fight. You know what I mean? It was getting intense in there. I thought it was a pretty even fight, but unfortunately they had to stop it because of that cut. But man, shout out to that guy. Hope he's doing well, and God bless him and his family.
hell yeah. Did you wait real quick? Did you hit their head on the pole in that fight? 'Cause I know sometimes casualties of the cage happen.
What was that? Could you
Or was it
repeat
just?
that question, please?
Did you hit your head on like one of the poles in that fight, or was it just the way it sounded when you got like rammed? Right, you threw a kick, he caught it, and he like ran you to the cage, and I didn't know if you hit your head or not.
Yes, I do remember that. It actually didn't hurt as bad as it sounded, but I was a little bit concerned about him taking me down though because it was pretty bad. He had me pinned right there, and for some reason he just backed out. So I was like, man, good. Because at that moment I was like, oh shit, like that man is like, he has power. He's a big boy, so it wasn't easy to stop him. As you can see, he took me all the way back and brought me into the fence. So yeah, at that point I was like, if you take me down, I'll go down and work my jujitsu on you because that's how strong I felt him at that moment,
Yeah. Were
This
you
is
worried
a
about
good question right
Shinigami?
here.
Were you worried about Shinigami at all in that fight, Duva? That's a good one.
To be honest, no. I actually don't get nervous about any of my fights. I put in the time, I put in the work in, and I always study my fights. If they have enough videos in StreetBeefs or outside of the StreetBeefs training videos, anything that I can get my hands on, I study them as hard as like I do all my homework. So no, I'm never nervous or I never have issues when stepping into the cage because I have already studied my opponent. But in reality, yeah, I have already sparred Shinigami, and I'm not taking no credit out of him. Like I respect his knowledge in martial arts and what he has accomplished as a fighter. But no, I wasn't nervous. I wasn't. Uh, I never had no doubt that I was gonna like win. I mean, lose the fight. You know what I mean? I went in there thinking that I was gonna win. I went in there and did what I had in plan, and I executed. What I worked. So everything worked out, and I took the belt, man. That's all. But big shout out to him, and hope everything that he's working towards becomes true and materializes, and we all want to see him successful.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
I want to ask both of you guys. I want to start with Hell on Wheels and then follow with Duva. Who were you guys' toughest opponents? You guys have both been in some bangers, many fights by now. Who was the toughest?
Man, that's an impossible question. That's an impossible question, but I'll give it to Grisby, Marcus Grisby, and this is why I've fought that guy twice. And if anybody sees that dude, like he looks like he could be Rocky Johnson, the wrestler from the 80s, his stunt double. I mean, the dude is just fucking jacked, okay?
Mm-hmm.
He's in phenomenal shape. And most of my opponents in the third round, I kind of feel like that's always my time I can step on the gas. And I was never able to do that against him. In our second fight, you can go and watch it right before the second round ended. He hit me so fucking hard with a right hand. I saw like white and black spots in the corner. And Keenan had to come to me. He's like, "Hey man, homegirl's here. Let's not get knocked out in front of homegirl, man." I was like, I got you. But like, and I told him, afterwards, I was like, "Did you realize you dropped me like that?" He's like, "Hell no." He's like, "I couldn't breathe." I was like, "Fair." But very tough opponent. I was sore for a week.
Yeah, that was a hard hit.
And Duva?
Yeah, I think for me, it was Superman, man. The guy that gave me my first loss in my record. I feel like he was my toughest opponent, but he was the one person that taught me the most about myself. Because most of my fights, as you guys know, most end in the first round, so I don't really get pushed to those limits. And he did push every single limit, push my cardio, push my jiu-jitsu, push my striking, the little bit that I was able to execute. But in all reality, it was him, man. Like, and I appreciate the fact that he took that fight. I took that fight in a 2-week notice, and man, like that guy didn't disappoint. He went in there with his strategy. It worked for him, and God bless him too, man, and hope he's doing well. Big shout out to him.
Yeah, that was a banger, man. Like you said, it was a bit of a switch up. We saw a lot of groundwork in that fight. But for those who doubted you, on the ground, you really showed like, okay, he remained calm. There were several times where you almost had it. You know what I mean? So it was like a switch of pace. Nice to see.
Yeah. I kept attempting like all kinds of submissions, man. That boy was so strong. It was hella hard just to try to lock the submissions. Just to even like attempting them was the easy part, but try to like finish them, locking them, like securing the position was the hard part. That's why none of them the submissions actually worked, because he was just so good at defending them. He kept moving, and he powered through. He was a pretty strong kid, man. So he made it difficult for me in all aspects of that fight, man. Good fighter.
Nah. I had a quick question for Hell on Wheels. So you ever do any comedy or anything like that? Out of curiosity.
So I've done 2 shows here recently. Not sure how many other ones we're gonna do. We've got like 2 other avenues we can kind of take my Hell on Wheels persona down. So we're kind of exploring those options. But comedy's something I like to do. But I'll tell you, I don't like to do it in the bar scene, man. I don't like it at all. I like to do it like, hey man, you wanna get in the middle of a field, we light a fire, man, smoke a blunt, and let me talk some shit. Wonderful. Bar life is not made for a wheelchair guy. There's a lot of awkward situations and bad situations that I don't want to be in. So I don't care for those things. And I have to like bring my own people with me. And I don't think the normal public understands that my people are a little different than their people. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. Some of the stuff I like to watch is some hecklers, trying to get owned by the comedians. I'm like, ooh, but that's no point. Comedians are supposed to make fun of everybody equally. Everybody's a target, right?
Absolutely. If you go to a comedy show and you pay your money for your ticket and you get offended, I think you should have picked something else to go do that Friday night. You know what I mean? You have to understand that just about everything's fair game. I went to a comedy competition a couple weeks ago, and as soon as I rolled in there, everybody's like, well, fuck, man, I was going to do wheelchair jokes. And then all of a sudden they didn't want to do wheelchair jokes because I was there. But again, that was cool as crap. I was like, hey, allow me to introduce myself. I'm Hell on Wheels from YouTube. And the crowd I got the biggest crowd pop of the night, man. It's kind of, like I said, it's nuts to me. So I try to use it to branch out to something else. I'm trying to find a comedy club down here that wants to do a comedy show on the first Saturday of the month, because that's when there's a StreetBeefs event. You let me get a crowd full of Street Beefs guys in there that I know I can roast, I'll light the fucking place on fire. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. All right. I'm gonna have to buy a ticket and come down and see one of your shows. Shoot. But you know, speaking of these hidden talents, Duva can not only kick ass, but he has some of the cleanest line work I have ever seen. You want to let the fans or the viewers know what I'm talking about? The blood.
Yeah,
Duva?
man. Whenever you're here in California, just come through. I got you, bro.
Have you ever been able to tattoo any Street Beef guys or what? Because I mean, I've seen a lot of your work or the work that you did post. I've seen every picture. I made sure to like it. I'm like, yeah, Chicano, brown, baby.
Yeah, I think the last guy from StreetBeefs that I tatted is No Love. I've been working on his hands, and I did his leg work as well. And we're gonna continue to work on that and see how far we will take it, how big. But he's one of them. I tatted who's that guy? Savage Abel. I tatted him. I was supposed to tattoo one of the at that event where I fought Jay Gotham, but circumstances and stuff. We were all partying hard, we having a good time, so there was no time to tattoo at all because it takes time, bro. Like setting up, getting all those stencils, all that stuff. It's time consuming, so it can be done, but I was just partying too hard, man. My priorities were on in a different spot, in a different place.
Okay, I think I got a piece in mind. I've had it for a while, but it's been close to heart. I don't know which temple. I got one of the temples of Aztec of Chichen, and it's one of the ones I want it coming up to the bottom of my neck right here from my chest. I want it right over the top. So if that's the case, I might save that for you. I'll have the money, so one day when I fly down, you'll have a big wad right in hand. Bam, crispy and clean.
Yep. Yeah, I mean, the doors to my house are open, bro. You can come anytime, and we can go train at my gym. We can go train with operatives. There's so many guys we can train with, and then we can get to tattooing, man.
Heck yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Blood, sweat, and tears. Yeah.
And real quick, man, I wanted to ask Duva, how did the whole StreetBeefs West Coast thing come about for you in the beginning?
See, I always been into fights, you know, like I always love watching, mixed martial arts. There was this one thing called Valetudo from Brazil. It was a smaller cage. It was bare knuckle MMA. It was crazy. I don't know if you guys ever seen it. That's some of the first fights I started seeing. School fights, bar fights, gang fights, you name it. Anything with the word fight in it. And I started at a really young age. My brother would actually take me to his friend's house and make me fight them and stuff like that. I would always get my ass beat, but I enjoyed it every single time. And that's probably why I'm still here fighting and doing this thing. But StreetBeefs, I was coming out of prison actually. I didn't know what StreetBeefs was when I was in prison. I had never heard of it, even though I had spent so much time like watching fights and stuff. But I remember when I was in the halfway house, I typed in fights because I had so much time in my hands. For you guys that don't know what a halfway house is, it's a house where you move in, kind of like a house with a lot of units, 6 people to up to 8 people live in one room. And the only thing for you is you can you can get a job. It's just the only chance to go out. If not, you gotta stay at the house 24/7. You got time to go out to the yard, come back, order food, simple stuff like that. But when I wasn't working, I just typed in fights. I wanted something to watch, right? Because I don't really go and like watch movies and none of that stuff, TV. So I just wanted to watch some fights. And I remember I came across a StreetBeefs video from the OG Yard, some of the old school videos, and I just kept clicking on StreetBeefs fights. And at one point, it actually clicked. I'm like, what the fuck, man? This is like, it looks organized. They got referees. They got some sort of cage, you know, and it seems pretty organized to me. So somebody must be behind all this. It's not just like a backyard fight, you know what I mean? So I started looking more into it, and I started asking questions on one of the YouTube videos, and they directed me to the Facebook group. And I remember I followed all the steps, signed up for the upcoming event, and I didn't get chose for that, which I was, you know, pretty disappointed. And I remember it was about to be New Year's. And I told my wife, like, check it out, look at this. And I showed her the fight, and she was like, nah, like, what are you doing? Like, what are you trying to fight? Like, I was like, you haven't been training, you haven't been doing nothing. You're just like fresh out the halfway house. I'm like, look, this is what I want to do. I think it's cool. Like, I like it. It's organized. I don't think it's that bad of a thing. Like, let's do it. Like, I know I still got it. I want to see how rusty I am. Let's give it a shot. And funny thing is, I signed up, right? I signed up for that fight, and I got hurt at work. So I had to go like to back pains and medications and all that stuff. So 2 weeks before the event, Wade sends me a message and he's like, "Hey, bro, somebody pulled out and we need a 205er. Like, can you come as a replacement?" I was like, "Yeah, I'll take it." And I was still messed up, but I was like, "You know what? I'll take it because I signed up for it, didn't get picked, but somehow I'm still getting the opportunity to be there, so I'm gonna take it." And I went in there with a stiff bag. I did what I could, and I actually thought that I was gonna lose that fight when he took me down, and I couldn't sweep him. And I went straight to jujitsu, man. And this guy just elbowed me in the mouth, boom, woke me the f up. I'm like, oh shit, like we're still striking, you know what I mean? And for some reason, I don't know, because this is what I had. If you guys remember, they stopped the fight and they said he couldn't continue. I didn't know how bad it was on his side, but I know on my end, my mouth was hurting really bad from that elbow. But I guess it caused his elbow to pop, and he wasn't able to continue. So it was kind of like if you watch the video, it's kind of confusing because we're just looking at each other like, what happened? Because Shinigami, I guess he said something like what happened? Mama, we're just looking at each other because we thought the fight was over because somebody was screaming that he's screaming something, and we both thought that the fight was over. So we both let go, and we just look at each other. But no, Shinigami told us to continue, and we kept fighting. And after that, they stopped the fight and said he couldn't continue. That was my first fight, and I it just hooked me, man. Ever since like that win, which I didn't really expect. From there on, I started training. I started losing weight. I bought all my equipment. I have a full gym in my backyard, and the street has just been keeping me active, grounded, focused, making setting goals on top of goals on top of goals. Now, like my daughter trains, my wife trains, even my son Campos. If you guys remember his fight against Marauder, that was his very first fight. He
Oh,
got
that was your
inspired by
son?
me. Yeah, that's my son. And
Wow.
the guy's at 50-50, man. He started training with us, and just like this journey's been really, really like crazy. But like I love every second of it, man. It has helped me improve in so many ways.
Damn, that's awesome. Heck yeah, got a whole family of fighters. Ooh, ooh, ooh. But
Man, I
Yeah,
didn't realize that was your son, bro. He is a
yeah,
beast. He went in and handled business.
yeah.
It makes
He
sense.
trains hard, man. Yeah,
It makes
if
sense.
later on, like, I have shared some stuff, some pictures of him, some videos. But if you look at his transformation is so inspirational, man. He was over 300 pounds, and he's now a 165, somewhere
Get
around
out of
there.
here.
Now he's like mostly muscle, almost like point. I want to say like 5% fat, 3% fat. That guy is all muscle, lean. You know what I mean? He has lost all that weight and kept it off. You know what I mean? And he's still to this day still lifting weight whenever he can. He goes to school and he works hard. At his job, and he's just overall good kid, man. So I guess it worked. But everything that I do has inspired him to work just as hard as I do, and his mom does.
Good on that, man. Good on that.
Yeah, thank you.
What's his fight name, man? So I can look that up.
Campos.
Compost. All right, thank you, sir.
Yeah, you're welcome. And
oh, check
share,
that out too.
comment,
Okay.
like. I mean,
Compost versus Marauder.
or other, yep.
Yeah.
And it's crazy because that day he didn't even tell us he was planning on fighting. I didn't even know that he had bought all his equipment, his cups, shorts, ankle braces, gloves, everything. He was prepared from the get-go, and he didn't even tell us anything. And then I remember a Marauder kicking it with us, with me and my family. He was under our tent, using our chairs, drinking our water. You know what I mean? Which and I don't mind none of it. I love when people come up to us and they sit in our spot and just tell us their stories, like how they started off. And I remember him like being there with us and stuff. And at the end, they're just like, "Oh, we're planning on fighting each other." I'm like, "What?" Like, well, go for it. You know what I mean? Marauder, I know that he still had that fire in him. He still wanted it to go once again, but there wasn't that many guys at his weight, and somehow Campos just decided to take it. So I was happy that he did, and I think it was a overall good fight on both sides, man. Marauder did did pretty good against him too. Even though Jordan had like more reach advantage, I feel like Marauder still did a great job. And after fighting once already, you know what I mean? So that shows the dedication, the heart that kid has.
Yep.
Man, some of you guys are nuts with that taking 2 fights thing. I've done it twice, and I'm just like, no, it's not the best version of you out there the second time. I don't care how much you took a break and what recovery you did. That is not the best version of you the second time. And again, I've done it twice. And when I see you guys, especially you guys out there fighting in that dry heat, man, I'm just like, you guys are crazy.
Yeah. I remember when I took that the second fight when I fought Military Mind. I remember Alex. I mean, I was already sitting down. My adrenaline was already gone. I was just there chilling, enjoying the rest of the fight. And I felt tired as hell. So I was just like, I said, I'm just gonna sit here and enjoy the rest of the fights for the rest of the day. And this would just comes up to me as like, Duva. I was like, what's up, bro? He's like, do you want to take a second fight? I'm like, oh man, like there's nobody else you can ask. He's like, no, I already went around the cage, asked everybody. But it's like, I'll go and do another round. It's like, but if you're down, like let me know. I'm like, look, check it out, bro. Like if you really need somebody to fight that guy, I still didn't know who he was. I was like, if you really need somebody to fight him, go around, ask once more. And if nobody wants to take it, I'll take it, bro. I'll do it for you. And I was like, I'll do you that favor. So then I asked him, like, hey, like, who's that guy? And he points to a bill collector. Man, from far away, that guy looked so big. He was all muscle. He looks just like a pit bull, man. I was like, God damn. So I told Campos, I was like, look, I'm about to fight that guy right there. He's like, who? That guy sitting on the table. And it was bill collector, man. That kid's so big, all muscle. So I got up and I started warming up again. Trying to get all pumped up, hyped up, ready for that fight. And I remember bill collector was walking on the parking lot, and I was just next to the cage warming up, and we were just looking at each other, just mad dogging each other, and then it just went on from there. But yeah, I mean anybody that takes 2 fights, I remember Nulov that day I fought Jay got him. He fought 3 times, so there's some people that just love this shit, man.
Shout out to No Love, man, because he fights every event. He fights twice, and that event he fought 3 times. But yeah,
I mean, the adrenaline dump is real, man. It's something that I don't think gets talked about enough. But that adrenaline dump is real. For me, man, I get so hyped when I know that intro's it's about time for me to be able to say whatever I want. Now I got to go back it up. I get so hyped that once that come down comes, like I'm asleep on the couch, bro. I got nothing left.
Yeah.
Driving home and sitting there like, man, I'm like, I'm gonna go here, I'm gonna go there, I'm gonna go celebrate and blah blah blah. And I'm getting closer. And I'm like, I'm just gonna go home. Then so I get home, like, I'm gonna take a shower. And then I take a shower and I'm like, I'm just gonna lay back.
So man, I mean, again, mad respect to it. Now, mind you, the 2 times I took 2 fights, I might have thrown almost 1,000 punches in that day, man. That's a lot of shit. So
I believe that.
It's not something I ever want to do again, man. Not ever.
I was curious about your fighting though. When you started, fighting more in training, did you have to invest like in a special wheelchair, or did you were you able just to kind of mod it yourself? I didn't know. I was actually really genuinely curious.
So man, what it did was with the help of some of my hippies, we invested in basically it's a basketball wheelchair, man, and then we just made some slight modifications to it. Because originally, man, I had been challenged to go overseas and fight some dudes that do wheelchair boxing, and what they did up there was you were able to move the chair. Nobody held you, so you had to have that sports-like chair. Now, again, I was supposed to go out there. Mind you, that was 4 years ago. Hell on Wheels has done lapped those guys times 10, bro. That's real talk. So that never materialized. So there's StreetBeefs because we're fighting in a yard, man. I'm just like, screw it, lock them together and let's go, bro. And that's kind of the best way to do it because, again, you're not going to wheel around with boxing gloves on and in like sand or dirt. So plus, me personally, I like the sitting in a box feel. So yeah, it is a little bit different chair, man. But if I ever decide to go play wheelchair basketball, I'll be all set.
I wanted to my bad. Go ahead, buddy.
No.
I wanted to ask you, bro, like how how much of a difference does it make, if any, the person holding the wheelchair, trying to hold you steady? Does that
Oh,
affect the fight?
tremendously. That makes such a huge difference. That makes such a huge difference. Man, I want a dude like the dude that was behind me when I went out west. I told that dude, I said, you ever play offensive line? He said, yeah. I said, man, I need you to move that motherfucker right there. He said, yes, sir. Right? And you watch that fight. It started on this side of the cage, and it was on the other side of the cage. He kept me close. He kept me in tight. I was able to control the range of the fight. You see? Crucial. So crucial. So, like, when you look at fights, and Keenan's the guy holding the back of my chair, there's some of my worst fights. One, because my corner man isn't really cornering me. And then two, because he's not the best chair holder, because me and that dude are the same size. You need somebody that's got some bulk to him. You know what I mean? Because, like, sitting in my regular chair, if I were to pop off of a 4-piece combination, I can lift my chair up off the ground, no doubt. So I understand the amount of core strength I've developed while training. But yeah, huge difference. So always get you a big boy if you can. If you ever get in a situation where you got a wheelchair fight somebody in a hurry, find you a big boy to hold you.
It makes sense, man. The science.
See, the hardest thing I see, I feel like I heard you say in one of the fights I saw in a wheelchair boxing, when I went out to Virginia with like Fire Chicken and Viking and stuff, was you kept saying, like, oh, don't move your feet, don't move your feet. And I didn't think about that, like how naturally we would try to use our feet to move around and move even more all the way to the side and not fall over. And I was like, huh.
So it happens all the time. You watch any fight, man, you can tell that they're using their legs and their hips to generate, and you can even see them standing up a little bit. I get it. It's part of my disadvantage. It being the Hell on Wheels challenge, like, you know what I mean? People could also say, well, my wheelchair's got a lower back so I can lean back. Call it what you want, right? It makes no difference to me, man. Life isn't exactly equal, bro. So if the fight isn't exactly equal, guess what? That's probably better odds than I got given in life. So I'll take that shit. You understand? It's just how I look at it.
Yeah,
Plus, I'm just fucking nuts, man. You know what I mean? I'm just fucking nuts.
I believe it. I was gonna ask what, because it takes a special kind of person to say, I want to go get punched in the face on this Saturday. It's a great Saturday to go get hit. But what's your favorite part about fighting for each of you? And I don't know. You want to keep going first, real quick, on wheels, or?
Sure. Man, I don't know if I really have like a favorite thing about fighting, but I definitely have like a ritual. You know what I mean? I go and see my grandma Joan and I talk to her. Explain to a 70-year-old church-going lady wheelchair boxing on YouTube one time, okay? It took me so many conversations for her to just be like, okay. You know what I mean? I still don't think she understands it. I go see the same hair lady before I fight. She's cut my hair at 6 o'clock in the morning, 12 o'clock at night. You know what I mean? I play the same song going down that gravel path to get to the yard. And like being Hell on Wheels is just my time to escape my fucking wheelchair, man. My wheelchair is my own fucking prison. Because I'm so happy-go-lucky all the time, people act like it doesn't affect me. Man, it affects me a lot. I can't do what I want to do. I can see everyone else do it, and I know I'm capable of doing it, right? Because look at what I'm capable of doing. So that 30 seconds where I just get to be yo, y'all already know. That's just it's like an out-of-body experience for me, bro. And I love that. If that makes sense.
1,000%. Duva? Is it me or?
We can't hear you, Duva. Are you muted or we can't hear you?
Oh, like, because sometimes my phone overheats. I know, a little lag and mess up once in a while. Yeah, still can't. Oh, that's weird. You have headphones in, maybe on accident. Jay, is he muted? Volume's low.
Maybe he's
uh,
losing internet signal because it looks like he might be buffering a little bit. I don't know, maybe not.
at least that belt looks good though.
Yeah, I'm about to say how little bling to it, didn't it? He just carrying that thing around like Ric Flair. Woo!
He's like,
He's ready.
And the new.
He's ready. He's ready.
Well,
I got the fantasy championship over here on the couch. I'm ready to defend that on Sunday. Let's go.
Yeah.
I wanted to ask you, Hell on Wheels. You know, Scrapyard has had several comedians fight at their yard. Could we ever see Hell on Wheels at the Scrapyard fighting?
So that was definitely it was on my bucket list, man. It was on the list for this year, coming up. But unfortunately, I won't be fighting anymore. That's a decision that I made recently.
Okay.
So I spoke with Sunshine the other day, cleared up the couple events that I possibly had an opponent. I was like, hey, they either schedule or I'm done. And they didn't schedule. So that last fight against, I guess they call him TikTok Mike, that was my last StreetBeefs appearance.
Got you. Well, you've given us many bangers, man. And, you know, for me personally, I appreciate all your time and all your effort, bro.
Absolutely, man. Like I've said multiple times on the broadcast already, it's been an awesome thing for me. So I've enjoyed it, and it's you know, when you're a fighter, you got to make contracts with yourself. And Kobe Bryant's probably the best athlete to look up to in the world, right? And he said you never negotiate with yourself. And when you make those contracts with yourself, that you know these are the things you're going to do. And once you can't do those things, it's time to walk away from it. You know, when you can't dedicate yourself to it the way that you once were, whether it be other things taking you away from it or not, you got to respect your opponents, respect the sport, and know when it's time to roll away. I mean, it's StreetBeefs YouTube fighting, so I know there's no gold wheelchair in my future or anything like that, but I definitely did something that's never been done before. Nobody will ever do it like I did it, and you know, that's something to hang my dick on, bro.
Hell yeah, I like it.
Real shit.
I was gonna ask too. One of my last questions, before you know, I won't keep too much longer. Did you ever have a beef fight? I was curious.
So that was supposed to be one of my last fights. So I told the story backstage, but man, I'll give it to you guys here because if we can get the guy to fight me, I'll take one more fight. The last event I was at, anybody that knows and been to the OG yard, there's a fighter tent set up. Well, at that fighter tent, Hell on Wheels just kind of sets up camp so that if you want to come by and take pictures, great, talk, what have you, I can answer questions for you while the other people are making sure they got signatures and such. And one guy, he was just a little salty with his mouth because his opponent had backed out like he was Barney Badass. Don't strut around the OG yard like you're Barney Badass because you will get called on it. And I'll be the motherfucker that calls you on it, real talk. Because I don't really care for that shit. I don't care where you come from, what you're doing, man. You should respect everybody that's here. So I got in the ring and I had a matchup with this gentleman. But before the matchup, he pulled Keenan to the side and he said, well, me and you got to shake hands because you're going to have to pull me off of him. So I didn't really care for that. And then at the end of the third round, when he had clearly lost the fight, y'all can watch it. It's on YouTube. He vomited and he was bleeding out of his mouth. He then got on the internet and said that didn't happen. And I was like, bro, it's cool. Like, you know, you can say it didn't happen. There's tape. So I offered him a beef fight. I said 1 round until either somebody quits or somebody gets knocked the fuck out. That will go viral. Real fucking talk, right? So as soon as the video posted, this gentleman stopped talking. Sunshine told me he was going to stop talking. And that's what happened. So I wanted one more fight. And then there was a wheelchair guy out in New York that had posted in the group, hey, I want to fight. but I need a couple months to get ready for them. I'm here to tell these guys, man, this is not fucking Disney World. This is not the Disney Channel. You're not taking a 2-month class at the fucking YMCA and coming out and beating somebody's ass. That's got 30 fights, man. These guys need to quit smoking that shit because it's on YouTube. They think, oh, man, it's just like the Disney Channel. I'll take me a 2-month class and I've got now whoop them. Watch me. Nah, bro, sit the fuck down. So I waited to try to get those 2 fights. So if any of those 2 people watch this, I said I would take those 2 fights. I'll still show up and take those 2 fights. I'll show up without my fucking legs. I'll show up without no goddamn help. And I'll still whoop your ass because it don't fucking matter. Because if I know it's the last time I get to do it, then I'm going to do it like you ain't never seen me do it before. You feel me? So Meth Head Mikey, TikTok Mikey, whatever you call yourself, you know what Sunshine's inbox is. She's the first girl that's messaged you since the 6th fucking grade. So I know you got her fucking messages, bro. So come on, get it. But other than that, man, it's 11 o'clock. I'm going to let my boy Duva finish you guys off here. But Hell on Wheels is always down to do what he does. But I don't think I'll be doing it anymore. But thank you guys for the love out west. I've always felt that from the time y'all started that shit. I probably had more people from the West Coast message me than from the East Coast, you know, talking about what I do and how I do what I do and having respect for what I do as opposed to it being some kind of novelty or some kind of sideshow. You know what I mean? So I've always appreciated that love and warmth from the West Coast guys. So thank you for that.
Hell yeah.
Hey, we appreciate you, man.
Shout out to you too, man.
Oh, dude, we're back. We hear you, buddy.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
Hear me?
Yeah.
You had a question for me? Before about my mic.
I think Buddy has something.
What did I ask? Oh shit. I think it was. Honestly, I forgot. I'm sorry.
I'll ask one more before we end it. Duva, what do you see? What is the end goal, fight wise, the whole career?
Yes, I was just talking about that with my wife actually yesterday. That if am gonna leave a mark in the fight game, it'll probably be on BKFC, man. I think that promotion that I'll follow, train for.
Hey, you're breaking up again, but I hope you can hear me. So he said BFKC. I was just at that Virginia tryout. I made some contacts. So if there's any way I can help in that situation at all, just introduce you or be a middleman, please holler at me. Sorry.
For sure.
No, yeah, I think he froze up on us again, guys.
You're a little choppy. But without a doubt, we know Duva would go in and wreck shop.
I don't want to get hit by them hands, bare knuckle. I don't want to get hit by them hands.
Go clean up shop. Go collect a big ass paycheck. Make your mark, and then you can be like, all right, cool. Peace.
Yeah, I see. Like, honestly, I don't know how long that will go on for, but that is something that I've been thinking about for a cool minute, and I've already talked to my coaches. One of them disagrees, the other one is all about it. You know what I mean? He always supports me. I mean, they just want the best for me. They're always looking out for my best interest. You know what I mean? They worry about injuries and stuff like that. So I understand where one of my coaches is coming from, and I understand it, but this is something that I want to do. I have always been that type of person that if I set something on my mind and I want to do it, I fall through, man. I just do it regardless of what people think, what my loved ones think. My circle is very small. I only have people that support me. I don't need no haters in my circle. I don't need no negativity, no criticism. I can take it well, but you know when it's criticism and then people are just talking shit. You know what I mean? And I don't need none of that stuff. But that's why I stay away from conflict. I stay away from drama. It doesn't matter where it comes from. It can come from a supposed friend. It could be from a stranger, family member. It doesn't matter. I'll stay away from all that. I'm nothing but positive vibes, good times, laughs. You know what I mean? Love and respect, and all about growth, man. And to answer your previous question about what's the part that I love most about fighting, that's what it is, man. The growth, the learning process. You know what I mean? The journey. It's not much about that destination because you have already made an image of what your destination is going to look like. You already know what the end goal is, whether it's you becoming a champion, whether you making a buck, or you living your your best life, whether whatever it is, man. You already know what the destination is. But me, I'm more about the journey, what you learn from it, the people that you meet, the experiences, the memories that you create. That's what you're gonna take with you. You know what I mean? And you already know you're gonna get to your destination because there's nothing that can stop you. You set your own limits. You should know yourself and know what your limitations are, and you should pull through and break through those limitations. That's what I love most about fighting.
Well said. I love it. See, yeah, I had it written down on the other side. Sorry, that's why I couldn't find the question.
And I know you
Man,
made a comment about my belt, man. I appreciate it. If you guys give me a second, I'll show you guys. I just got this bad boy a couple days. Look at that. Well, first of all, Street Beefs, they're the ones making it happen, my guys.
talk
Look,
your
got the
shit.
flag, got a rep, you know what I mean? Got a rep for my people. And
Soak
they
it
got
in,
my
big fella.
logo
You
right
earned
there.
it. Soak
So
it in.
yeah, so this is what I've been carrying everywhere. My daughter tells me, she was like, Dad, can we go to Target to get a Barbie or something? I'm like, yeah, let's go. And she's like, but take your belt. I want you to walk around with your belt so everybody knows you're the champ. Crazy, man.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Yeah, that
I
is
love it.
awesome. That is awesome. My kids are the exact opposite, man. Somebody recognizes me as Hell on Wheels, they run the other direction. So my
yeah.
kids are the exact opposite, man.
That's awesome. I love it. Heck yeah. My kids love watching my face. They're like, go. My kids, when I'm out in public, sometimes I'm like, I say my spiel once in a while. I'm like, yeah, I'm Buddy V, modern day Aztec warrior. Ooh, ooh, ooh. And my daughter goes, I'm Leia V, blah, 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 Aztec warrior. Ooh, ooh, ooh. And my son's like, man, Joaquin V, blah, blah, Aztec warrior. Ooh, ooh, ooh. And then they walk around and they're like yeah.
That's funny, bro, because every time I go pick up my daughter from school, like one time I had her the braids, and so I was like, "Hey, are you a boxer?" I'm like, "Why you say that?" And it's like, "Cause Genesis tell us you a fighter." I'm like, "Oh, for real?" So now I'm like, "Genesis, you can't be telling everybody that I fight, because what if their dads want to fight me? You know, like, what if? Like, no, like we don't want those problems. So just tell them
Yeah,
I'm
I
a
don't
nice guy,
go to
you know."
PTA meetings, man.
So
I
she's
don't
telling
do
everybody.
that. I don't go.
Yeah, she's like, "My dad is a fighter. My dad is a boxer." Now she says, "Oh, my dad is a champ." Telling everybody, man, it's awesome. I love it.
Hell yeah. It's, yeah, you're like, yeah.
Hey,
Well,
that's how it should be, man. You work hard for it, man.
Thank you, thank you.
right? Yeah, you work hard, you earn it, talk your shit.
Yeah,
Oh
now
man.
it's just
So
my next man.
I don't want to keep you guys a whole lot longer. I know it's getting late. We kept you for a little longer than sorry, but it's fun. We can't help it. You guys are fun to talk to. I told you it's gonna be a good time.
Absolutely.
Where can people find you on social media?
Go ahead, Helen Wheels.
So I mean, I've got Street Beefs underscore Hell on Wheels on Instagram. SB Hell on Wheels on Snapchat. You can send your titty pictures there. I'd appreciate it. Thank you. Hey man, I'm tit level. I gotta take advantage of it where I can. What can I say,
You never
brother?
know.
Yeah, man. Me, you guys can follow me on Instagram, 19 Duva 92. I don't really post much, but I'm always there. Like if you guys want to just shoot me a DM, I'll answer as fast as possible. You know what I mean? I'm always there for anybody that needs to talk about any topic, whatever they need, man. We're always here to support each other. So just shoot me a DM. If you're looking to get a tattoo, hit me up. If you're looking to spar, doors are open for everybody, anyone that just wants to come and train, level up, whatever your plan is, just come through, man. Have a good time. Oh,
Hey, well, we appreciate you guys, man. It was a great show, great conversation, man, and you guys have a great night.
So thank you.
you too. Thank you.
Thank
Was
you,
an
guys.
honor.
Dang, that was fun. I looked. I was like, oh shit, almost a full hour.
Yeah, it happens, man. Good conversations, time just flies, you know?
Exactly. But you guys don't want to go anywhere because we have a quick little small break before we go to the next fun segment.
Yep.
Hi guys, Bushido Zed here with StreetBeefs West Coast. Make sure you check out OTH, okay, magazine. They've got YouTube, website, I believe. all kinds of stuff. They have Cuzzo, checking out reactions. It's awesome. We have a lot of bangers. Check out OTH, you guys. Thank you.
Yo, Free Smoke with you guys, man. I just want to give a shout out to Overtime Hustling Magazine, man. Go cop the edition, man. Go cop the edition, the latest cover, man. They put me on a few covers ago. Go get yours right now, man. And shout out Cuzzo, man. We'll see you with the reactions. Love you, dog. Much love. Overtime Hustling. Let's go.
With KT here, make sure you check out OTH Magazine, man. They got all the hits in here. They're going to tell you everything you need to know about everybody on the underground, all right?
What's up? And you're here back to see Buddy V's Fighters to Watch.
Buddy V's Fighters to Watch.
And as always, you know that we're going to start back at my home turf, the Scrap Yard. This one is kind of an interesting one. I said the comeback kid. Now, it's because he fought in the Scrap Yard. He had a BJJ match, and as you can see, he's doing really well against an OG SEMA. The best part about this is he came out from Power Slap. This man slaps fools into another dimension when he's out on there, and he definitely puts the hurt on them. So the fact that he came out to Scrap Yard was super awesome. I know him, and he came out with someone else, which you're going to have to go look at the Scrap Yard's page to see, because I'm not going to give it away. But yes, the comeback kid. You know you want to go check him out on multiple platforms because he's got a lot to show. Second one, all the way from StreetBeefs West Coast, the Bearded King. I like this fight, and as another fun West Coast fighter, every time I see somebody come out, they catch my attention. I'm like, wait a minute, let me just watch this for a minute. And they pique my interest. And let me tell you, as soon as I watched them, I was like, hold on, let me just watch this. And as you see, kind of testing the waters, and he delivers. If you watch his fight, I promise you, you will not be disappointed. And with that being said, he obviously had to make the list because I want to see some more of this guy. And lastly, from the StreetBeefs OG Yard, Conan. Now, I've seen his fights. He actually had a fight, I think, like a year ago and then like 6 months ago. I've seen the development of this fighter to where he came out. He was a man with a goal. You could tell he's been training, and he definitely came out and put the hurt on. So I was like, okay, well, obviously you went through a little training arc for yourself. You're on the next level now, so let's start to see what you're going to do because you got a taste, you got your toes in the water, and yeah, now you're ready for some real combat. But those are my three fighters to watch.
Nice, bro. Fire picks, as always.
A little bit of fire. When we speaking of fire,
It's about that time. Yeah, Samke and the Fire 5. Let's go ahead and start it off. StreetBeefs OG Yard, Hunter Wheeler versus Nelly. This was a great boxing match right here. These men, they got straight to it. Neither shy to throw bombs. Non-stop, these guys were trading. Good exchanges, both men tagging each other. Wasn't the most technical fight, but the intensity was there. And both men came to fight. Looking forward to seeing more fights from both of these guys. StreetBeefs OG Yard, Hunter Wheeler versus Nelly. Firefight. Moving on. StreetBeefs Scrapyard. You see it. This was an insane female kickboxing match. This is between Hostility versus Not Your Average Girl. Like I said, intense kickboxing match, fire kickboxing match. Both these females skilled, and they were ready to go toe-to-toe. We got great pressure, chopping kicks, constant action every round, great cardio, great exchanges. StreetBeefs Scrapyard, Hostility versus Not Your Average Girl, firefight. Moving on, yeah, you see it, StreetBeefs West Coast. Man, this was my favorite fight of the day. Baby Broly versus El Jaguar. Man, this fight right here was at the 3-year anniversary, and this is basically the definition of warriors giving their all. literally. I don't know how many punches were thrown, but this had to been top tier as far as punch count goes. This is a must watch fight. Constant action, unmatched energy. I mean, the crowd was crazy. And these guys were just throwing barrages at each other nonstop. Who needs defense? You know, when you have iron chins, you just swing. Street Beefs, West Coast, Baby Broly versus El Jaguar, firefight. Taking you back to Street Beef Scrapyard. Yeah, this is Stonebag versus Ludo. You're trying to look it up, type in Crazy Mirror Match MMA fight, and you'll get it. Yeah, Stonebag versus Ludo. This was an intense MMA match. They had a lot of intense grappling in this fight. Very aggressive. We got a lot of submission attempts, reversals, but these men both showed patience as well. Very much competitive back and forth. And like the title suggests, these guys were mirroring each other, literally. Both men looking to take the lead and gain the momentum. This is not a disappointing fight. Street Beef Scrapyard. Stonebag versus Ludo. Firefight. Yep, and I'm going to take you back to Street Beef's West Coast for another firefight. This is part 2. But I want you to look up part 1, because that's where the story starts. These guys, Earthling 7 versus Mimo Silva. These guys had 2 wars. The first fight being a banger. And that was the fight we're talking about here. Is the first fight. These guys, they went toe-to-toe, 2 different styles. We got great fight IQ, great techniques being used, and great shots being picked throughout the fight. Both men finding success, bombs, combinations, everything you want to see. Pressure, frustration, it's all there. Street Beefs, West Coast, Earthling 7 versus Mimo Silva, firefight. Samcan the Fire 5.
Yeah, fire. I like that. There's definitely one I have to go watch, so I'm curious about it.
Yeah. Which one?
Honestly, the girl one. I haven't watched that one. I was like, oh,
what?
And
You weren't at the event?
No, I wasn't at that.
Dang, yeah, bro. That fight was better than a lot of the guys fighting. I'm not gonna lie to you, man. It was competitive, and hostility. She came in and she definitely she made a mark.
Yeah, see, I always stand by sometimes female fighters are more vicious because they have something to prove. But especially because that whole stigma of like, oh, you're a woman, you can't fight. To like really watch this, and it's like, oh shit. Woo! Let me walk on the other side of the street. No, just kidding. Nah, but with that being said, man, I had a great time. What do you say? You think it's about time we wrap this up?
Yeah, man, it's about that time, bro. But once again, another fire show, bro. Another fire
Great.
show.
Fire.
Let's go ahead and run through the shout outs. First and foremost, our guest, Hell on Wheels. Thank you for your time. Duva, thank you for your time. It's a great talk. You guys go out and look up these guys' fights, man. These are warriors with bangers. That's Hell on Wheels and Duva. I want to thank the people in the live chat. I want to thank the people in the comments, the people watching this on replay. We appreciate you. We do this for y'all. Street Beefs OG Yard, Street Beefs Scrap Yard, Street Beefs West Coast, Street Beefs Dirty South. We do this for y'all. Shout out Heart in the Fight. Shout out Overtime Hustling Magazine. We appreciate you guys. And yeah, man, I don't really do the social media. You want to catch me? I'm here. Same time, same place, every week. And yeah, man, gotta thank greatest co-host, Buddy V, greatest producer, Jay, can't do this without you guys. And that's pretty much it, man.
Hell yeah. Shout out to Zoel. You know what it is. We got some fun stuff in store. I'm always having a good time. Go check out Zoel-world.com. I'm actually about to re-upload some more stuff because I just sold out of like 3 items in the past 2 days. I was like, what? So I've been hitting the post office actually like crazy this week. It's insane. So make sure you get some merch because, yeah, it's going to be fun times. Other than that, Zoel_Buddy V if you want to go see the Instagram. And, yeah, Zoel World for the Facebook if you want to go check it out, join the business page. I got to start posting a little more on there, but you can find, some of the interviews I do on YouTube of the local people around Tacoma. Some very interesting people. You never know. But that being said, thank you guys for watching. Thank you, Samke. Glad to do it every single week with you Tuesday. Ooh. And yeah, all right, Jay. I know you have a fun time. You get to chill back and relax. Heck yeah. So with that being said, all of you, thank you for coming in. The words of Jay: one world, one love, deuces.